Very pleasant good night, my beloved brothers and sisters in Christ and outside the body of Christ. Well, once again, this is your Christian brother Eric Braxton speaking to you all from his beloved country, Trinidad and Tobago, the land of my nativity, the land of my birth, Trinidad and Tobago, this wonderful island country that is in the blue Caribbean. See in this part 45 video where I'm teaching you all in this series that outer body experience is false, and man is not a spirit being entity in the body. Man is flesh and blood, and when a person die, he lose consciousness till a future resurrection. So yes, there is life after death, but in a future resurrection, when God will give you back your consciousness, because when a person die, he lose consciousness, his consciousness cease. So he's unaware, because consciousness is awareness. He's unaware, and that unaware consciousness state is in the hands of God, and God will resurrect that person in a future resurrection. So yes, there is life after death, but in a future resurrection. This is the teaching of the scriptures, the Bible, from Genesis to Revelation. So man is not a spirit being man is not a spirit immortal being in this physical body, because man is the body. So that's why outer body experience is false, because man cannot come out the body when he himself is the body, because the spirit in you is just the air, the wind, the breeze. But that air, wind and breeze, which is the breath of life, is called ghost and spirit. But it's not a spirit entity, it's not a spirit person having form and shape and foot and hand like the physical body. And that's what people misunderstand. They believe the air, the wind, which is the life force in us, that's because that air, wind and life force in us is called ghost and spirit. They're taking it to believe it is a spirit being within you, or a spirit person having form and shape like the body. And they believe it is an immortal spirit being, and they're saying that is the true you, and that this physical body is not you, but the spirit in you, which is an immortal spirit being having form and shape in the body, as the body, is you, which is a total lie. Because when you breathe your last breath of air, or the last breath of air, and that this life force, which is the ghost, which is the wind, the air, which is the breath of life, which is the ghost, the air, the wind. When you breathe your last breath of air, which is the ghost, the wind, the air, the breath of life, that go back in the atmosphere. And when that air, which is the breath of life, go back in the atmosphere, that of itself has no consciousness, is you, the person who is flesh and blood, lose consciousness, and you is in an unconscious state, unaware state. You do not know nothing. You're in a deep sleep, because that unawareness, that unconscious state is called a deep sleep in the Bible. And you wait for a resurrection when God will activate back your awareness, activate back your consciousness in a resurrection. So yes, there is life after death, but in a resurrection. This is the teaching of the scriptures. So brothers and sisters, I'm teaching you all that. So outer body experience is false. Brothers and sisters, I want to say that all these millions of people who are teaching that they came out, they have outer body experience and they came out of the body, and I'm not dealing with those who say they went to heaven and they went and through the tunnel of light and funnel of light, and they went in heaven and they see the dead relative, the mother, the brothers and sisters, they see Michael and Gabriel and the rest of the angels, they see God the Father and Jesus Christ, and tell them, it's not, we don't want you all to stay here. We have a mission for you. Go back to the earth and to your earthly families, and it's not all the right time to come across here as yet. So they send them back. I am not dealing with that part. I am dealing with those who say they float out of the body, and they came out of the body, and they was in the room, and they was watching the doctors operating on the body, doing surgery on them, and they left the room and they was watching the body from the roof of the roof of the room, the ceiling of the room, watching the physical body down according to what they're saying, and then they flew through the building and went on top of the hospital. And just using this as an example, this is a Vaseline bottle full of Vaseline. They went on top of the building and they saw a bottle full of Vaseline, and they came back down and they float back down in the body. So when the doctors and them surgeons stopped operating on them and they gained back consciousness, they told the doctors, you know why you was operating on me? I came out, that were the people telling the doctors and fooling the doctors. You know, they're telling the surgeon, and you know, when all was operating on me, I came out of my body and I was watching all operating on me. And I float through the ceiling and I went on top of the hospital and I saw a Vaseline bottle full of Vaseline like this. The doctor says, true, they sent a nurse or a person and went on top of the building and they really find a Vaseline bottle full of Vaseline. So the doctors will say, how come that person know that? He could not know it had a bottle of Vaseline on top of the ceiling, the hospital, on top of the hospital building. Why? Because we was operating on him and he was under anesthetic. And when you are under anesthetic, you is unconscious, you do not know anything. What the doctors are never saying is true. Under anesthetic, you do not know anything. But how the doctors are being tricked and fooled is, the person, when the person gain back consciousness, he telling the doctors that, and the surgeon that. And they really went and checked the information. And there really was a really Vaseline, because they bring down the Vaseline bottle and they show the person and say, this is the bottle that you saw on top of the roof? He said, yes. So then how did that person know that there was a Vaseline bottle on top there full of Vaseline? I am saying to you all, believe it or not, that the person, in spite he is giving the doctors and the surgeon correct information that there was a Vaseline bottle because they really find it and bring it down, he did not know that was on top there. Because the day when he entered the hospital, he did not went up on no building physically to know there was a Vaseline bottle on top there. If somebody revealed that to the physical person. Now who is that person? A next physical human being like the person himself? No. So then who is the person revealed it, that the Vaseline bottle was on top of the building? A spirit entity, an invisible spirit entity, and angels. But in the room where the nurses and the surgeon is the surgeon and them seeing that invisible spirit entity with the person? No, they only see the physical man or the physical woman who they operate on. But that person have an invisible being that relayed the information to him that there was a Vaseline bottle on top of the building. So they went and bring it down. You see, brothers and sisters? But the doctors and them and the surgeon doesn't know that there's an invisible spirit with the person that relayed that information to him about the Vaseline bottle on top of the building, because they really went and bring it down. But the doctors now, they're not seeing the invisible being with the person. They do not know that is an invisible angel that revealed that information about the Vaseline bottle on top of the building to the person who they operate on. Now the surgeon and them will believe his story and believe that what he says is true, that he really came out the body as a spirit being and he went on top of the body on top of the building and he flew through the building and he see the Vaseline bottle and he came back down, and now he's telling them that. And they will say, that is, and here what they will say, you know what this fella saying is true, what this lady saying is true, that is the proof now, and that is the evidence that outer body experience is really true. They will say that is the proof now that outer body experience is really true, and that man is a spirit being in the body, and that man is not the physical body. So while we was operating on the physical man body, his true self, which is a spirit entity, came out of his body and went up on top of the building and saw the Vaseline bottle. But now as he came back in his body, he gave us the information. That's a total lie. That's a total lie, because in the first place, the spirit in us, which is life force, is not a spirit entity. It's an invisible being that the person have with him who relay the information to the person. And he does relay it to the doctors. You see the deception? That is deception that is taking place. But of course, The nurses and the surgeon, they are talking to the physical man, the physical woman, but not knowing is an invisible being with the man and the woman that is using him. But are they seeing that invisible angels with the man or the woman? The answer is no. And that is the deception that is taking place, brothers and sisters. And I, Eric Braxton, this little Christian boy, is teaching you all that and pointing out that facts to you all. And Jeffrey Long do not understand that. And Raymond Muddy do not understand that. And all these millions of people all over the world who accept what these people teaching, who accept all what these people saying, that they have out-of-body experience, who accept what they're saying, for the first time they hear an I saying that. Explaining that. They really believe it is the people's spirit coming out the body and going up to top the hospital and seeing whether there's a cork or whether a butter on top there, and giving the information to the doctors so the doctors could go and check the information and verify it. Not knowing is a spirit entity that the person have with him, that giving him that information or of any object on top of the building. Brothers and sisters. Brothers and sisters. But did you all know that? All of you all who accept what these people telling you all, that have out-of-body experience and out-of-body experiment, out-of-body experience, and they came out of the body and they went on top of the hospital roof and they saw shoes or they saw a bottle or they saw a cork, on all except what they was say, on all except the lies that they tell all you, on all except what they tell all you. Yes, all accept it. Because all they did not know that the person had an invisible being with him who are revealing the information to him. All you do not know is the man and the woman have an invisible being with them that reveal to the man or the woman about the shoes on top of the building, about the Vaseline bottle on top of the building, about the cork on top of the building. Brothers and sisters. But do you all know that? The answer is no. And I'm pointing out that facts to you all. Brothers and sisters, I've crossed my time. This video supposed to be 10 minutes, 12 minutes. Well, brothers and sisters, I will continue teaching you all concerning showing you all what is really taking place and the deception behind out-of-body experience. So may the grace of God be with you and with me and with the human family from this day forth and forevermore. Shalom, peace. See you all in the next video soon. Bye bye, my friends.